Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining today's mobile webinar on mobile gaming. And I'm your host, Kevin Sebastian, and your moderator. And with us, we have a esteemed panel of guests across the gaming industry. We have with us Sai Saki, Senior Product Manager at Oppo Middle East and Africa, Bashar Kayal, a content creator and one of the bigger game streamers in the region, and CEO of local mobile game developer Dynabytes, who are currently working on their mobile AR game called Phantasma that's based in Dubai. So, with the pandemic that has come across in this extraordinary year, this has been a very extraordinary year in terms of how the pandemic has captured the world's attention. One of the main segments that did not, however, get affected was gaming, and in fact, it was one that, being very specific to gaming, it was mobile gaming. Now, I'm going to be answering this question too, and this is something that Bashar as well can also very much answer with me. Are mobile gamers considered gamers? And there's a long-running joke in the gaming industry where people who are in the console and PC gaming markets inherently say that mobile gamers are very casual people who don't play games as seriously as the others. While that might be true, the mobile gaming market is arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, gaming markets in the entire world. So, with that said, I'm going to ask my first question to Bashar. Thank you for being here, first of
Thank
all.
you.
My first question to you is, you're a content creator. Now, with the pandemic, most of us were sitting at home. If we were not streaming and if we're not making content, we were actually playing games, but you were doing both. So how did your audience improve this year, especially because you were creating way more content than you used to do that previously last year?
Hi, Kevin. So I have been in YouTube for about, let's say, 11 years. Like from 2009, I have been making videos on YouTube. And every year we can see that people show more, many people are uploading videos about gaming on YouTube. Let's say from 10 years, when you want to search anything about gaming on YouTube, you will only see two games: Call of Duty and FIFA. That's it. Year after year, we can see more gaming on YouTube. But when mobile gaming become more popular and companies are like making now really good gaming on phones, like let's say like really good game, like let's say PUBG, Call of Duty and stuff, not only some minor games like Candy Crush and that stuff. So when companies are now making now that company are showing more interest on mobile gaming, it's a full, like, it brought so many people into YouTube. It brought so many views, so many stuff. Now we have a full YouTube channels that they only make videos about mobile gaming, and now we can see it's maybe the biggest views on YouTube. It's all about mobile gaming. So for me, now this year during the pandemic, I know it was really hard for so many people. So many people lost their job because of that. But for the YouTubers, it was the complete opposite. They were sitting home making videos. So yeah, it was a really good year for us YouTubers and people who like make content at home, because we already work at home. We don't need, like, that's what we already do. So yeah.
Yeah, you are definitely the envy of a lot of people because your main job is to play video games and entertain crowds, right? But obviously, that's not a very easy thing to do because you're doing a lot of this every day, and you always have to stay on point and stay on top of the trends and get on top of the channels and make sure that your content is seen by a lot of people.
Yeah.
With that said, let's just get a bit into the numbers here, because for everyone involved here, because Newzoo, the gaming analytics company, estimates by the end of 2020, the mobile game revenue will hit about $76.7 billion, a 12% increase in 2019. And to put that in perspective, the box office, this is the global box office here for all of the movie industry, that was $42.5 billion. So by the end of this year, especially because a lot of movies have not been screened out on time and there were delays, the mobile gaming industry is now worth more than the global box office. So that's a very huge market to tap into. And in fact, which actually leads on to my next topic, which is the mobile gaming industry and the mobile gaming events industry. And Tarek, this is where you're the star in this very particular segment because you we basically saw that Oppo hosted uh, a FIFA gaming tournament in Mall of the Emirates in across August and September, and we saw well over 1,600 people play this, and they got the chance to play with their favorite YouTubers as well. So tell us, how did Oppo envision doing this, especially during a pandemic and in a very tough situation?
Hi, Kevin. As a start, hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. So, as you said, it was quite a very tough time for everyone amidst of the pandemic, and this was basically the first Oppo gaming event. In, this actually shows the commitment of Oppo and how it wants to reach the local community next them. Within the industry, we all know the challenges that children are doing good, but it shows that Oppo values in bringing the latest devices and innovations to the consumer. So to add to your question, basically, consumer research is in the heart of our product development. From the research that was done, we've seen great uptake on the gaming, becoming a very essential pillar within the smartphone experience.
Yeah. And in fact, like it's also been one of the core pillars of what Oppo have been doing to create devices that serve the all-rounding public, which is pretty nice to see. But in terms of gaming adoption rates, especially here in the UAE and in the Greater Middle East and Saudi Arabia, it's a massive market here. We all know this. And one particular untapped market, which is slowly growing in popularity, is augmented reality, AR games, in fact. And the ability for our phones to now use AR well within the ecosystem is something that a lot of developers are going into, which is my next question now goes to Mr. Haider Alani, CEO of Dynabytes. Thank you for being here. Please tell us a bit about the game you're developing, because as someone who grew up in Dubai, it's very interesting to see a game being developed here, and that was an AR game. So just tell us a bit more about what you're developing and what's the process around that.
Thank you for having me here. Actually, we are in the midst of launching Phantasma in a few weeks, and it's an immersive AR GPS multiplayer adventure game. The purpose of the game is to catch these phantasmas using the game assets like the baits, boosters, and bottles. And we are focusing the game only in Dubai and have a very carefully allocated locations. Those locations are handpicked, so the locations are not randomly generated, but our characters are.
So when you made this whole scene, like you obviously made this game with the idea of using the camera and integrating that as a shooter-based game.
Yes.
But does the implementation go? Because you clearly are looking at a game that takes in a lot of data in real time, and it could not have been that easy. So how did you do all of that in terms of developing something over here?
It wasn't easy at all, especially you have to test all mobiles and all kind of games, and it is tough to get such devices in like can comply with everything, especially AR. It's a new technology, which we are like. It's like I don't know how to say it, but it's the changing of hardware is always good news. It means the game can perform better and look better too. Especially with AR, we rely on good quality cameras and high performance processor, a long lasting battery life. These are the fatal things. What we notice that the better configuration of the device, the higher its price. But thanks to Oppo, good technology and good mobile gaming experience available for the masses. Now, however, it is the developer side. It's difficult because we have to test the game on all kinds of devices and hardwares. So that makes our life difficult. But for the masses, it's better with such devices.
Yeah, and considering all things, because Oppo have always been a forefront of engineering and making great devices for everyone. Oppo actually, we saw in 2020, like Oppo managed to release two great phones, Find X2 Pro and the Renault 4 Pro 5G. The one which I'm using actively for gaming right now because it's amazing for a very popular game called Mobile Legends, and in fact, a very released game from Riot called Wild Rift, and it's basically a phone that I would like to use to play games, and I don't have to worry about how long I can use the phone for because the battery life is quite good and you can charge your phone really quickly. But my question now shifts back to Bashar. We all use our phones for social media content, but you more so because you're not just gaming on your phone, you're actually doing a lot of content creation. You're making Instagram stories. I know you're all over the social media feeds as well. So we both have played games and we both have seen games evolve. Like we started doing mobile gaming from what? Farmville, Candy Crush, to all of these free-to-play games, and now we have developers like Tencent making these full-fledged games and free-to-play games, in fact, like PUBG and Call of Duty mobile. But where do you think the experience needs to go become better, for example?
Right now we already have the good hardware. We already have phones that show we already have phones that will show one at 20 hertz. We already have good battery life. We already have 5G thanks to Oppo. So we already have all of that. We already have the good hardware. And me as a console player, as a person who played on like devices like PlayStation, I used to play with 60 hertz. So now seeing that mobile phone have one at 20 hertz was mind blowing. I did not expect that at all. So what I think that we need to make the experience better is from the gaming companies. We need them to make games that are not only free to play, because now at the moment all the gaming company are making games that are free to play, and to be honest, their main goal is like for people to buy stuff in the game and to make more money. We need to see we need games like we see on PC, on PlayStation, like a game that I'm willing to pay $20-$30, but it's really a good game. A game that, khalas, I don't need to use the console anymore. I can just buy games on phone and play it on phone. So what I really need that gaming company to stop the free-to-play stuff. Still make it, of course. Many people are having fun with that, but to start also taking gaming on mobile more seriously. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's an interesting point you make because one of the things I recently read up, and this was just yesterday, in fact, how Xbox is basically starting something called the Project X Cloud, where they're going to start doing cloud gaming, which can basically use your mobile GPU and CPU to run graphics from the console. So you're basically playing cloud-based games on your phone, and you're using the same Xbox interface, which means two things. One, you need to have a phone that can handle the output, and the second thing being you need to have a strong bandwidth, and you have to have 5G connection. Which now comes to my next conversation comes to Tariq, because again, you guys have had a massive win this year with the Oppo Reno 4 Pro 5G and making it one of the more affordable 5G devices that people like us can get on their hands. And you had a very interesting product showcase as well at the Oppo InnoDay 2021, where we saw something on the likes of an extendable screen and augmented reality focus, which it has to be seen to be believed. And if anyone in the audience wants to know what I'm talking about, you can check them out at Oppo's InnoDay stories, and you can see that they had some excellent hardware showcases. But that's the question I'm going to be asking you, Tariq, now that we have a lot of new technologies coming in. Graphic cards are getting, at least in the mobile space, are getting smaller. CPUs are getting better. Where does Oppo will see that shift now in terms of the hardware showcase?
Okay, so like you said, it was a good year by bringing great phones to address the needs, like the Oppo Reno 4 Pro 5G, and also the Oppo Find 5G. One of the things you can hear in both devices, despite these
I think
we seem to have Tariq seem to have cut out, but he'll be back, and we'll just come back to that again. So now we'll be moving on to, we're still on the topic of hardware and software. And my question now is to you, Haider. We are talking about the specifics of developing an AR game, because now Oppo have developed technologies to make augmented reality much more easier. Will this be able to help developers? Because I do know for a fact that the development process of developing an AR game is very camera dependent, but when they have the AR engine already pre-built into your phone, would that make your life considerably easier.
Of course, as I said earlier, technology advancement is great. AI is evolving over the year. It's getting better. We saw that gap in the market. That's why we focus on AR. And thanks to technology, makes things happen. That especially with the new phones, that it makes it easier and better. And as I said before, also that Oppo device, it has like really great camera and augmented reality, which enables us to develop more and makes it even better. And although we have to test it again and again, and this is but it's like it's getting so fast, which sometimes you can't catch up with.
Absolutely. And now we have Tariq back. Tariq, again, the question was still on hardware and software as well. Yeah, so the question was still on hardware and software. So basically, I have to ask as well, because this is a very interesting question that I get a lot as well. Like, because Oppo still offer premium features on a smartphone, but they still keep the price point well within the affordability of people. Because nowadays you have like phones costing more than a sofa, and from IKEA, it's insane, right? But like a 5G phone from Reno 4, like a Reno 4 Pro 5G, still remains affordable, still remains a phone that a college kid can come and get, and they can still get the same features playing with any top tier smartphone. So how does that process go about developing that phone?
Okay, so exactly like we said before, the core development of our devices starts with the consumer research. So we really focus on the consumer needs, the actual needs that they need for their experiences. So, for example, when it comes to gaming, we've seen some of the pain points and the exact needs that they require within their devices. And then the result of this was the Oppo Pro 5G or the Find X2 Pro 5G. And if I give you a quick example, is that one of the key elements that builds a good gaming device, like in these devices, if you look at the Oppo Reno 4 Pro 5G, for example, it starts with Oppo leading charging technology. We have the Super Book 2.0. Imagine charging a phone from 0 to 100 in 36 minutes. Or if you charge it 5 minutes, it gives you 4 hours of playback of YouTube. Then punch hole, beautiful AMOLED screen that comes with 90 hertz refresh rate. While on the Find X2 Pro, it's actually 120. And then all these devices have to be powered up, like Bashar and Haider was saying, with a powerful processor, the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, for example, on the Oppo Reno 4 Pro, and 865 on the Find Pro 5G, for example. But as well, combining all this, very important matter is not only the hardware, but also how you combine the software tuning to ensure.
We apologize for the spotty connections there. Bashar, we're going to be moving to you now, because you were just talking about the hardware as well. You obviously seen that Oppo have pulled off amazing gaming events, and that too in the middle of a pandemic. But not just as a content creator, but even as a gamer, personally as a gamer as well, like I want to see a lot more from gaming here. But what do you want to see from Oppo specifically?
Yeah. Okay. So Oppo already make they already made good hardware, and they already made it within affordable price. So what I want them to do locally here, that if they can make more let's say esport tournament locally here in the UAE, or maybe around the Middle East, because I'm not sure if this information is correct or not, but I think that mobile gamers here in the Middle East are more than, like, let's say Europe or like USA. So people here in the Middle East play more on mobile, more than like console and PC and stuff. So if they like make more esport tournament, more events like the one they did in the Mall of the Emirates, that will really like make these mobile gamers happy, and will make them like show and it also will make, like, let's say console player and PC players see that mobile gaming is not what it used to be before. It's not like mobile gamers are not real gamers. It will show that no, we have esport tournament, we have events just like you guys.
So Tarek, the spotlight's on you again,
It's
and
me again.
yeah, like
Sorry, I
you,
don't know
yeah,
what's happening. I
yeah,
cannot talk.
no worries. And but yeah, like you heard Bashar, like right now, like gamers are starving for more gaming development focused events, and Oppo's a company I'm pretty sure can fairly do that very easily. But before we wrap up this, before the session, like I just wanted to talk about the extendable screen because that
Yes,
was pretty cool technology, and I felt that that's something that definitely a gamer is going to take a huge advantage of.
yes, exactly. So this actually was quite a big news for us. I think for the gamers and also for the community, for the developers. In our latest Oppo Inno Day, we've announced a rollable AMOLED display smartphone. So this really changes the way we used to play games. Because from a normal smartphone screen phone, you can roll it up and have almost a 7.2-inch screen to play with your game. So this really opens the creativity for the developer and the content creator really adapt to the new hardware that's going to be available. In addition to the rollable AMOLED display, we also announced the Oppo Ar Glass 2021, which adds to the store and to either phone. This changes the whole gaming spectrum from wearing AR glasses and imagine playing a game on a 90-inch screen from a 3 meter far away. No, so we believe that currently we're in the phase of evolution of the hardware. We're getting really amazing hardware, top-notch hardware like the Oppo Reno 4, 5G, great processors, screens, amazing display. But we expect that there's going to be an evolution coming soon when it comes to the hardware that will enable a whole wide spectrum of creativity for the content creators and developers as well. And to add also to your point, is Oppo also announced $7.6 billion of investment of R&D, really lead in the latest innovation, latest trends, because the Oppo goal is to bring the latest technology to make our consumer lives easier. And that's why, back to your point, is we're bringing always the latest innovations, very accessible points like 5G, Reno 4 5G to make it accessible to a wider segment of consumers.
Gotcha. And we actually do have a few audience questions in just before we wrap up the session. Question to Tarek, I think because these are very Oppo-focused questions. Can we expect a gaming-focused phone from Oppo in the near future?
So that's a good question, and like we said, we are always getting making a lot of research, and we're making sure to address these points. For example, in the latest Reno 4 Pro 5G, in addition to the hardware, we developed something on the phone called the Game Center, which actually collects all the games within this app called the Game Center, which makes it easy to find the games. It puts you in the gamer mode where it gives you the possibility to control your notification, incoming calls, and also the phone itself with the use of AI, it uses its resources to give the game a hardware boost and the best experience. We are always going to make sure that there's going to be great innovation from the hardware and the software coming soon to everybody.
Okay, we have another question actually based on your point just now. Would gaming be one of your main pillars that Oppo will always be focusing on?
Gaming is definitely a very focused area for Oppo across all our devices. It's going to be a main focus, in addition, of course, to many other pillars within a smartphone. Because we all know now a smartphone is not only one thing, it's many things. From gaming to imaging to business to a whole new creativity. Even now it's into studying. So, but gaming is quite a very important pillar, and we're always going to be pushing a lot of focus and bringing new innovation to the next devices.
Sweet. And the battery life on Oppo. So basically, we have someone asking the question about battery life on Oppo devices, and I can actually add in another question from my end as well because you guys have made a 65-watt charger this year, and it's pretty insane though because you can now basically charge your phone in under 20 minutes completely, and we don't have to worry about battery being a problem here. But the question being, what about the current battery life? As soon as you finish charging it, is it good for gaming? Does consumer have to worry about it?
The question is the current battery life.
No. So they said that is the battery life good? We all know that Oppo has always had great charging, but the question is, how is the battery life on right now on current Oppo devices?
For example, the Oppo Reno 4 Pro 5G, we have a 4,000 milliampere battery, which is more than enough actually to last you all through the day. In addition to that, it comes with a 65 watt, which charges it in a full charge in 36 minutes. In addition to that, like we said in the beginning, there's a lot of software and AI features within the phone that helps you to consume and to moderate the power usage. For example, we have a power saving mode. We have a super night power saving mode. For example, the super night power saving mode, it only uses 2% over 8 hours of charge. So there's a lot of AI and development on also on how the phone utilizes the power for the user of the phone.
Understood. And we have one of our last questions before we just wrap up the session. This question's to you, Haider. Basically, the question is, why did you create a game based in the UAE of all places?
Well, we don't have many UAE and Middle East based games. Hence, we wanted to test the market with Phantasma. It will be launched in a few weeks, inshallah. The game is since it's geolocation game, we need to handpick the locations to avoid any safety hazards or something like it would be. We do concern about the gamers like safety, so that's why we started with Dubai, and inshallah we will expand afterwards. So let's see the success, inshallah, and then we will move on.
Okay. We have another question for you, Tarek, because we're getting a lot of Oppo-based questions. Why should someone buy an Oppo phone over the competition right now? And I'm sure competition's quite fierce.
Oppo mission, and Oppo goal is to bring the latest technology to make our consumers' life easier, and most importantly, is to make it accessible at different price points. And the proof of this was bringing 5G in different price points, and we're still eager and pushing that we're going to expand the 5G even to more price points. In addition to that, we're always very close to our consumer, making the research, having these calls to try to really understand the core needs, so we bring what is really required in the best reliable form and in the best possible price as well.
Okay. We have a question for Bashar from the audience. Bashar, so in fact, I also want to know about this as well. What are your current favorite games you're playing right now?
So that question is for games on mobile or gaming in general?
All gaming. It's all gaming.
Okay, so I will have two games right now, one on mobiles, one on console. So as you know, my favorite game of all time is always Call of Duty. So the new games, Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, which is everywhere, and also at the same time I play Call of Duty Mobile on the phone. So yeah, Call of Duty here and Call of Duty here, both. Those are my favorite games at the moment.
And they also asked, because you brought up the single player thing as well, about have there been any favorite mobile games that you came across?
Any favorite mobile games? What's nice about mobile games that they can be simple and fun. So I think everyone heard about the game Among Us. Usually it was So usually it was on like PC, but they bought it in the phone, and I think the game saw a huge success because of mobile gamers. So yeah, Among Us was really fun, especially when you play it with friends.
Yeah, for those in the audience who are not aware, Among Us is a murder mystery game. It's more of a whodunit game where someone plays the role of an imposter who has to basically get rid of all the other players in the game. It's playable up to 8 people. It was paid on PC and basically it was free on mobile, ad supported, but it was also one of this year's most played mobile games ever. In fact, it got the Game Award for best mobile game ever. And it just goes to show basically in the ecosystem that mobile and PC gaming can go hand in hand in a very seamless way. And with that said, we will be wrapping up this session. Thank you all so much for joining. And honestly, it's been a very informative session. Thank you so much to our panelists who have basically taken the time to come out here to talk about everything in the industry. We look forward to your game, either when it comes out.
Thank you.
And Bashar, definitely going to be watching your content more this year. And Chitarik, absolutely, it's been great to be talking to you. And we look forward to seeing what Oppo has to offer in
Great,
the
thanks.
coming years.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, everyone, and thanks for the viewers.
Sorry. Before we cut off, I just saw another question just came in really quickly to Haider. Do you think that AR games are the future of mobile gaming?
Yes, we do so. We always do our researches as well, and find these market gaps, and we are looking forward to fill it up. And this is also like so AR. It's like has come along a long way, and it's like and we think that it will be. It will have the good adventure of it, like advantage of it, like so the advantages, like it would be on the AR, it would be much better than any other game, and the devices are like getting better, and we always look forward.
Absolutely, and the same question is now it's being told to ask the entire panelists. Bashar, what are your thoughts on AR gaming?
I played some AR gaming on the past, let's say the very old AR games when you open your phone and see stuff. But now now I see that they are becoming more advanced. Like we can really see something that we can, like, in the near future we can really see AR games that became as popular as just any normal mobile games at the moment. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what the future holds for AR games.
Okay, we have another question, and this one's a bit of a difficult one to answer, and I'm putting this across to all of you now. Sorry, we're getting a lot of questions in right now because we got a lot of people asking questions about mobile gaming. Do you think that mobile gaming will replace traditional console and PC games? And it's a very difficult question to answer, but I would like to hear your thoughts on it.
I think, okay, from my side to start with, I think both of them are going to be essential, but the part of mobility is already an essential part of our life. So we're most of the time doing mobile, going to one place to another, and with the advancement of game creation, you start the game on the console, you can continue it on your device on the way when you're traveling. So this is how we find the interconnectivity between the home-based devices and the mobile devices.
Haider?
Well, I think it will take a bigger stake than before, and everything is going to mobile now these days. And so, of course, I would believe that the mobile phone gaming, it will be much bigger than before, and it will take a bigger stake, and I wouldn't say it's replace it, but it will take a big chunk of the market.
Okay. And Bashar, yeah, it's going to be a very difficult question for us gamers, right? If someone says like mobile gaming, I would replace it.
So I don't think it will, but I think that mobile gaming will become more popular than like console game. It will become more popular because it's simple that everyone have a mobile, everyone can buy a mobile, but not everyone can build a PC or buy a console. But right now we see very big gaming company, let's say Nintendo. They are focusing on making games on mobile, which we have never seen before. Like we only like I think everyone knows Nintendo. They have Super Mario and stuff. They always make games for their devices. Now I think in the last year they start making Super Mario on the phone. So we see big company are now changing their focus to making games on mobile. So we can easily see it will become more popular, but I don't think it will replace it.
Understood. And it's interesting though. I do hope we do see an esport mobile segment coming up very soon in the Game Awards, because that's pretty much going to be the future for gaming as far as I'm concerned. Now, my next question is, Tariq, VR and AR gaming are on the rise. What's Oppo's plan for that category beyond a strong smartphone hardware?
So, like said before, Oppo Inno Day, we've already announced our Oppo Ar Glasses 2021, which really expands on the AR and the VR part. And in addition to that, Oppo has been already doing research on AR since 2014. And I believe the research over the years have really helped us to come up with the Oppo Ar 2021, the Oppo glass. For example, from last year to this year, already the design of the glass have reduced by almost 75% because of the new technologies and the new hardware that we were able to do, which will really help the consumer on the wearable experience. Because of course, how light and how the design of the glass will help the consumer, whether he will be using it for how long and so on. So of course, AR is quite important from our side, and I believe AR as a technology is quite of important technology that gaming would be a part of it, but it will also touch many different other verticals in our life, whether it's education or even different industries or commercial. So it will have a lot of impact on our future technology and how we deal with things as well.
So my question is to, I think it's with both you and Tariq and Haider. Can we expect mobile phones to have extensions similar to gaming controls to make playing games easier?
Yeah, Haider, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yes, and it is existing now. There are some extensions and gizmos for these with the Nintendo Switch as well. So, it would be there, and it depends on the hardware as well. If the hardware is sufficient enough, they won't need these extensions. But these extensions will be there, and there are existing ones now to enhance the adventure and the gaming experience.
Yeah. Tariq?
From my side, to add to how yes, exactly. Some of the extensions are available. I believe that there's going to be even different types of extension that's going to be also available in the future. We also have to remember the IoT and the connectivity. So I believe there's going to be many possible devices that will connect to improve our gaming experience and many other experiences on the phone as well.
Okay. Question to Bashar as well. Does screen size matter when it comes to buying phones for gaming? Is that something that you consider when you're basically playing games on the phone? Question, Bashar, sorry. I'm not sure if you heard me there.
I don't think he can hear us.
He's cut off. We'll go on to the next question, actually. It's the final question, actually. With technology constantly evolving, what is the future of the mobile gaming industry? This is a good question for both Tariq and you, Haider. Basically, where do you see the mobile gaming industry going from here on out?
Well, actually, I can see that it's getting better and better. And, everything is getting into mobile now these days. So definitely, I would think that it is evolving and it will be improving, and it can go beyond expectations.
I totally agree because I believe we're in the evolution part of the gaming mobile, the great hardware that we have on, for example, on Oppo devices. But like I said, we expect that there's going to be a whole new revolution when it comes to the hardware and the gaming experience because, for example, of the Oppo 2021X device, the rollable AMOLED screen device or the AR glass, this will open the creativity and the possibility for gaming communities and the content creator to really an unlimited spectrum as well. So we believe that it's going to be on a quite advancement and on the rise as well.
All right. And sorry, Basha, thanks for coming back. The final question to you is a mobile. Do you look for how important is a mobile screen for you when it comes to gaming on a mobile phone?
Actually, it is very important. It's just as important as the hardware because, especially if you play shooting games really need a big screen. So I would say it depends on what kind of games are you planning. Are you planning to play on the phone? So yeah, it is important.
All right. With that said, the question and answer session has been wrapped up. Thank you so much for your time again, gentlemen. And thank you for the audience for giving us these informative questions. We learned quite a bit of what is going on in the mobile gaming industry. And definitely it's going to be, all eyes are going to be on you, Tariq, Haider, Bashar in different ways. And I can't wait to see what's going to be lined up for 2021 when it comes to gaming and mobile gaming. And with that said, I'm your host, Kevin Sebastian. And thank you so much for joining today's session, brought to you by Oppo and Gulf News. And we shall see you for the next one.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.